All right, red lights on. What is happening, Fish and friends? Welcome to another Saturday Night Live. Hopefully everything is working through the snow, through the cold. Internet's keeping up. I reset everything before, so hopefully no problems or issues here. See, man, we have a bunch of members in here. I've got another members only video coming up of the DEBO meetup that I still don't have freaking edited and out there from what was that, July or no, September, sorry. September. So that'll be coming up for members. See folks in here like Trevor, Nate, Mr. Mike Vogel, another Iowa boy. How are you? So always huge thank you to the members. Even if you're not a member, doesn't matter. Appreciate you all the same, watching, supporting, hanging out with us. So what are we doing tonight? We got a bunch of snow here. I think we're up to like 9 inches now where I'm at, 10 inches, something like that. So it'd be snowing. We got the snow. Already had to get the snow blower out. We're not even in December. So I'm ready for ice. And we got Mike with us. Mike, what is the good word, my friend?
Everything's good, bud. Just happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody out there. And then slows down fishing a little bit with the weather, but hey, we'll keep on keeping on. We'll just keep on going south if we have to,
See, I'm fine with the cold as long as it gets cold, freezes, and stays that way until like February. We don't need all the snow and stuff, but I just want to be able to ice fish through the winter. I hate the in between where it's freezes, melts. I just want 30 degrees all year from here to February. Done. Then
when I was a kid, and we lived in Minneapolis, and my parents took me ice fishing on New Year's Day on my birthday every year. And the only way I have any inclination to go on ice fishing is you got a shanty or something warm I can sit there.
Oh, dude.
Other than that, I'm done.
It's a complete, barely do I say game changers in fishing stuff. But I remember used to go out with my old man, sit on a bucket, freeze my strawberries off. I'm like, this is awful. I hate this. Now that I have a shack and a heater, dude, I'm sitting in there with just my bibs on, no coat, just my regular hat. Dude, it's freaking awesome. So
now, we don't get what you guys call hard water here where I live. But it's 100 miles north of me. They're ice fishing all the time, but we just don't get it. It's crazy. Yep. It's in that band of weather, I guess,
Yep. A little bit.
But you can keep it unless you got a nice warm house for me to stay in.
Yeah, dude, it's completely different. And some of these places, you go up north in like Minnesota and Wisconsin, man, they've got the big, huge shacks out there with TVs and dude, it gets freaking crazy. But I'm excited.
That area near Brainerd, Minnesota, they have that huge tournament every year up there.
Oh yeah,
there's like 20,000 people out there.
See,
it's just a big party.
Yeah, that's too much for me. I like where I'm out in the wilderness and there's only a couple shacks around. We did one once, Dad and I did there's a private lake that opens up once a year for an ice fishing tournament. And dudes are on their 4-wheelers ready and all that and just taking off, blasting off out there. I'm like, this is not my deal. I don't enjoy this. I want to relax.
No, it's that them damn, no matter what kind of lure I create, the son of a bitch won't, when I cast on the ice, all it does is skip across. I never caught a fish on ice before,
Yeah, it's tough fishing on top of the ice, Mike. Yeah. We might have to change your ways a little bit.
Well, remember the videos that fat cat used to do with that shit?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I can relate.
Yeah. It's you got to go under the ice. Got to go different setup. But so Mike, a lot of you probably remember Mike from I went up last year, and he's been on before. But went up last year, did a trip with him, the Thunderhawk guys, and Mike has had some differences of opinion. We'll say is no longer and has not been with Thunderhawk for some time. So Mike, what's the new deal? What are you up to?
Just getting back to what I do. To be honest with you, and I had like you said, I had no love lost, no nothing. I had a great opportunity and doing things. But Hawk and them, they're also manufacturers for a lot of companies I was in and learned a lot with them. Plus the stuff I did prior. Just a difference of opinion of where to go in the future. And I just took a break and said, I'm done with all this. And I wasn't enjoying it, and that's not why I retired in the first place from police work. Rick Petrie, the owner of Monster Bass and other companies, we got to talking with each other through a mutual friend and said, hey, let's do this. You want to come work for us and sell some products and help design and colors. And that was just late last summer, early fall. And it's been pretty cool. We got a lot of new stuff, and I like the vision Rick has and how hard he works for stuff. And be honest with you, it got me back on the water, and I'm enjoying myself again. I'm enjoying, like we were talking about earlier. I fished 8 lakes in Minnesota since this summer, and just exploring lakes. I fished in Alabama, and I find myself now like I was when I was younger. I don't want to come off the water anymore. Like, I lost that, and now I'm back in it, and I feel strong, I feel good, and the industry's a mess right now, hence the title of the show.
Yeah, we're going to get all into that.
Yeah, and so, but I really believe the strong survive. You make good friends, you surround yourself with the right people, sell a good product, and be honest with you, just don't bullshit anybody. Everybody, you'll get through it. Fishing will always be here, some form or fashion.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. So I think that kind of takes us into the show meet. So I guess first off, from you seeing it because when did you start at Thunderhawk? Was that 2019?
2019, yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the industry before that with Temple Fork Outfitters.
Oh, that's right.
As an ambassador and sales rep nationally. They'd take me to different shows throughout the country, and we had a great team. So that's where I learned a lot of my stuff. Besides being a lifelong fisherman, hell, they had Lefty Cray and Gary Loomis and Flip Pallett, Larry Dahlberg, Cliff Pace. You talk about some innovators in the industry. You look at what Cliff Pace is doing now with Black Label and his crankbaits, and let alone Larry Dahlberg. I learned how to fish a whopper popper with Larry Dahlberg on his home body of water. I mean, that you just
doesn't get better than that.
You can't make that shit up. And I told Rick Pope, the guy who put me on that, the founder of TFO, I still thank him today. It got me going, dude. It really, I learned so much. It was like a big sponge working with all these. They treated me like I was part of a family. And these are legends of the sport. And I'm just a nobody, dude, but I sucked it up like a big sponge, and I learned a lot. And I've been in the industry ever since,
See, yeah, and you just brought up 2 things there that I think are big points. So number one is, the industry that we've seen, I think it's cyclical. I mean, well, I don't think, I know it is. It's cyclical like anything else. And, we had the big, kind of, I would say probably dropping just a little bit or maybe stagnant, the years coming in before COVID. And then COVID was just this anomaly of, you had so many businesses struggling and closing. Well, hell, everybody's getting outside now. So the fishing industry just, bazookaed up. They're selling, there's more licenses sold, more people out than ever. I think here in Iowa, we had 60% increase in licenses. And that's all I'll stick to license trivia. I know how that went over with you guys.
Yeah.
But tons of licenses sold, and then you start to go through, 2021, 22, 23, 24, and stuff's tapering off again. Companies were double, triple, quadruple, 10-tuple, whatever the hell you call that, over what they'd done in years before, and they just couldn't keep up, or they overproduced to get into it, and then were, holding too much product, So what have you seen, I guess, kind of the industry with the ups and downs now? What are you seeing, and what do you think with everything right now?
Sometimes my vocabulary will limit what I'm about ready to say.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, well, keep it somewhat PG.
There's still a lot of falsehoods, and I think COVID created that. To be honest with you, I saw it when you look at, like, say, if you run a company or a fishing company, or you own a company in the fishing industry, you got so many of these people that want to be a pro staff, if you will, right? Or you got these pros that are literally trying to make a living, full-time fishing tournaments and stuff. And I saw when you get these packets, right, from these guys, and they say, oh, the numbers and this, that, and the other, and this is what we can do for you. You got to look at that with a fine-tooth comb. And there's never more prominent than during COVID. And what I mean by that is they doubled and tripled and this, that, and the other. But the number one seller during COVID that tainted a lot of that stuff was a $50 bait cast combo. $50. If you had a $50 bait cast combo anywhere.
We're talking like Walmart or, some just grabbing a.
There's nobody, they'd never done it before. They just wanted to get outside and not lose their mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we did get a lot of new fishermen in that whole thing, but then it skewed the numbers. And the problem I saw too was, that if they weren't real business savvy, they didn't know projections. You know what I mean? That it really skewed the whole table, if you will. So, like you said, alluded to, they overbought. They put a lot of money on the table to build cap. You know, they got a limited capital, so they put all in, ready to go for the next year, and they didn't know how to face it. You know, or they
Yep.
oversold themselves, made the deal with the devil. Some of these national chains, you know what I mean, and then it bit them in the ass. And then the conglomerate groups came in and said, "Okay, this is a big opportunity now," and they bought a bunch of companies. And
Lightning
but that's
Muskie
why
just said that. Yep.
then that's why I'm so fortunate now to be with Rick and Monster Bass. That Rick works his ass off, and he's very, very, very savvy when it comes to this stuff. You know, he started. It's interesting that my job more or less is help create and sell bigger, you know, anything. And his job is to get the marketing and get the ideas out there and leverage where we're going to be and the footprint, if you will. So he understands that. And it's interesting. He started Monster Bass about the same time I started at Thunderhawk. So
Oh,
it's
really?
really
That was 2019 he started that?
yeah. So it's really interesting, you know, that I'm really excited. But go back to your main question. Sometimes, as you know, I go crazy when you talk too much. And Rick even gives me grief sometimes because I delve into a topic and I go down a rabbit hole I can't get out of sometimes.
That's right. I'll cut you off. I'll cut you off if we need to. But that's a wide open question. So I kind of opened the gates to that one.
But what I see in a nutshell, what I've seen is it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But it's also a huge opportunity for the ma and pa stores. It's a huge opportunity for smaller companies, being that it goes back to everything else. No matter how easy it is to click on that button and purchase something and buy something, customer service is still number one, period.
Oh, agreed. Completely.
And that's where I see getting back into it. And I'm seeing I'm meeting all these people again for the first time, or people I've already known. It's the same thing. If they're near a lake and they have great customer service, people are going to come in the store and ask questions.
Well, that's,
and it's, you know, that's the bottom line. You have great customer service, ought to offer a great product at a right price and not use the words. I'm kind of biased on this. This is not representative Monster Bass, but I'm very biased of the letters JDM. So anyway, I'll leave. Anybody wants to get into that, I'll talk about it.
I know your thoughts on that. Maybe we'll sideline that for a minute here, but I think the big thing is, you know, like Lightning Muskie was saying before, is, you know, with some of these buy-ups and stuff, companies would cease to exist. Companies wouldn't be able to do stuff unless they were bought up. So yes, in some spots it sucks. In some spots it's great, because otherwise you might have a brand that's completely gone. They can't keep their head above water, you know, and they get absorbed. So it's got its, and we, you know, we've talked about this on lives before. It's got its pros and cons. You know, I think Dobbins was probably a big one where, you know, they got bought up by a big, you know, private investor. There were changes, you know, there were some local people that lost their jobs, and that sucks. You know, that's part of corporate world. We see that all the time in the corporate business world. But, you know, at the same time, you've got little companies that would be gone, completely gone. And you could say, well, it's only because of these big ones are buying them out. No, there's way more to it than that. If they were doing fine, if these companies were making money and in the green, they wouldn't have to sell out and go to these companies, you know? So it's got its pros and cons. But like you were saying too, I think you see a lot of the companies, like when you were talking about TFO, working with them, and it was like family, not only from the company side, but also, like you said, you know, the customer service aspect of both. You know, you can see these companies that are just in it for money, and you can kind of see a shift away in some of that stuff and supporting either more of the local stuff, or, you know, more of the people that have continued to do the good thing or the right thing through the crazy tough COVID times and through some of these prices. You know, we had, before tariffs were even starting, we saw some of the companies jacking up prices before tariffs even hit, you know? So I don't know. That's my, I guess, 2 cents on it, but
yeah, and like I said, the industry, it's a mess. The reason being, because I say that it's really good and bad at the same time. What I mean is a mess. It's new ground, or a lot of the people that have been in the industry a while, that they don't really know how to leverage the future. You know what I mean? Or they don't really know how to market the future, or they're hearing this forward facing sonar stuff, or back and forth. The crankbait cells have taken a dive. Well, crankbait cells deep did, but they're coming. Everybody's learning this forward-facing sonar now. I'm telling you, I think you're going to see a big resurgence because these guys are figuring out how to catch fish in a different way with forward-facing sonar. It's getting
agree.
better all the time.
Jerk baits. Look at the jerk bait guys.
You got
now
some of
using
the
jerk bait,
perspectives.
glides.
Oh, I've seen guys we've created some new stuff we got coming. And also some of the new stuff at Grande Bass for different levels of the water column based on forward-facing sonar. It's just it's just fishing. It's everything new gets bit, and then 6 months later, if everybody's using the same shit, you don't get bit again.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's completely. Yeah. I mean, you look at spinner baits, you look at big worms, these things that we've seen people, go up and down, stuff that used to be cool. And then there's this new fad that comes along. Mr. Philip Cheek says, close your eyes. Mike sounds like John Goodman.
John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman. Remember on Roseanne, John Goodman?
Awesome. I got
He was also in, God, what was the movie Arachnophobia. Hadn't seen that in forever. He was in that. Let's see. Where else was I going to go with this? I had another question. I did a poor job of putting stuff on paper because I figured chat and everything would kind of help guide us. I'm kind of looking through. Yeah, Daiwa. Was Daiwa early? I know some companies held out. I think Shimano was one of the last to raise prices. I know there were definitely some other companies that raised before Daiwa. That was pretty disappointing. But I mean, the company's got to do what they got to do to stay above. So,
but yeah, I when I was chief of police, people don't know I was chief of police for 7 years. I was a police officer for 27. I was near Indianapolis in that media market for a long time, and I always said to the police commission, I don't have to be politically correct. I just have to be correct, and that's where we lost our way sometimes. The bottom line is, I don't have a filter sometimes, but I see it and I date what comes out of my mouth usually based on fact, not fiction. Sometimes I embellish a little bit. Hell, I'm a fisherman, so you got to learn how to embellish,
Right.
But at the same time, I really believe there's a lot of stuff that's so much crap. And
for sure.
It's a full circle of propaganda, I call it. One podcaster talks to the next. Now all of a sudden that becomes a topic. And now the third podcaster comes in. Now all of a sudden they've heard it from 3 different people, so it must be a thing. Just look at Charlie Kirk.
Right.
Nobody from the government has said any of this shit that they're talking about. So because they keep on repeating themselves, these so-called journalists, and I think that's what's going on in the fishing industry.
And that's that's the kind of the blessing and the danger of YouTube and these other platforms. Yeah. That's why I try to be I'm the same way. I try to shoot you guys straight. If I don't know, I'm not afraid to tell you I don't know. But yeah, you see that, and I think this kind of gets us into the forward-facing sonar is a great example of that. So lightning, like he was saying, may get worse. People have less money. I completely agree with that. The way fishing tackle has gone up and the prices and people, it's not like I got a raise, tariffs and all this stuff went up. It's not like I got a 50% raise to account for that. I'm still making the same dollar. So I agree that's going to play into it. I think companies are going to have to be smarter about how they market, how they spend their money, what they're selling to people. It can't just be a smorgasbord of lures, just throwing them out there and saying, hey, here's a whole bunch of cool stuff, buy it. Maybe that worked during COVID, but now when people don't have as much time, they don't have as much money. But I think forward-facing sonar is a great example of this. I watch stuff on it and I know enough on forward-facing sonar, just enough to be dangerous. But, you got guys out here making these claims and stuff of why it's so bad. And then you got guys saying, well, this is good. You can do this, this, and this. It's like people fall on one side of the line or the other, and it has to be one stance, right? You can only hate it or you can only love it. You have to take a stance. And it's like, I don't know. I fall in the middle with it. And it's like, is that going to be an industry ruiner? Like you were saying with all the minnow stuff, that's going to be a fad that's going to play out, right? Fish are probably going to start to get accustomed to that, I would think.
Debo, I look at this too. Just look at it. I don't care what topic it is. It's politics, fishing, whatever. It's so divided because of this thing called the internet. these armchair keyboard warriors that think they know everything, don't know shit. And before they get on there blabbing their mouth, my dad, when I was chief of police, Facebook, I tell you how old I'm getting. Facebook just first came out, right? So we had a Facebook page on our police department. The whole world can look and see, right? Well, then by the time that got started, we got just people just, and it became bigger and bigger, but there's only like 6 or 10 people like you guys, whatever you call it, when they get on your and just hack your stuff and talk crap the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And I was worried about that because what were people are thinking? Well, my dad made a good point. This has been 15 years ago now. He told me, he goes, look, just because now they have a worldwide place to voice their opinion doesn't make him any smarter than drunk at the end of the bar.
Yep. Oh yeah. And that's just it. You have to filter, so much of what you're taking in, because you just don't know. Anybody can, and again, that's the blessing and the curse of it. It's great that anybody can get on and talk and do stuff, but at the same time,
that's what I like where I'm at now, and I feel good. I feel good about it. And that's because I talked to Rick quite a bit before I decided to join the team. That's why I feel like a team, and because I've already made my bones, I've done stuff, and I want to do more stuff and get back to the fishing. But he's into making products and doing stuff and keeping the price the right price, and not try to hit a home run on everything, and listen to what people are saying rather than to shove it down their throat saying you need this. I won't even touch the swim bait market, or $30 pieces of rubber with shit hanging out the sides of them. And so right now I'm going to shamelessly plug some of the products because I believe in it too. Like right now, monsterbass.com, look, the Black Friday sales, they're unbelievable just because the price we started with was great. Now this is going to be a short period of time because we are picking up so many dealers now nationwide that we're going to have to cut that off for our dealers. You know what I mean? But like the vault system, tackle system, it's half price of the competitors. Our crankbaits, there's no more. There's one big one for $8. Most of them are $8, $9, and they'll fish. I'm telling you, with what we're doing, they come with must-add triple grip hooks. They come with the right hardware. So we appreciate it because it's hard. It's hard to, spend money when you're paying $20 for a damn steak at a grocery store. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's why I like what we're doing and where we're going. I think we're going to give it a shot and see what happens, because I think the industry's calling for not, you hear this all the time on Bassmaster and everybody and all it, making a sport bigger. Why not make it better?
Well, see, that's the thing. I guess that's something we could get into too, is so you see all these, and I shouldn't say all these, I've seen a few people talking about, a few pros, talking about how forward-facing sonar is ruining it and how there's less fish in the fisheries today. And a huge part of that is forward-facing sonar. And I'm like, what do you have to base that on? I'm thinking like, look at fishing pressure, look at the differences in fishing equipment. Back in the day, how many people had equipment like this to go out fishing, to reach these spots? How many people own boats now, kayak sales, the ease of getting out on the water, pollution, pollution's at a high with, runoff and industrial zones. And there's like a bajillion things. So when I hear some of these pros saying like, oh, one of the reasons it should be banned is because there's way less fish now. I used to be able to go to Lake X and just catch the heck out of them. Now I can't. It's like, have you changed? Are you fishing the same way as you did, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Do you take all this other stuff into account? I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. And again, I'm not a pro, so if you take even what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because these big lakes.
I agree exactly what you're saying there, bud.
I don't know.
And the bottom line is, you can go to, let's say, this prime example of this. I want people to listen to this. I think our fisheries, especially the Great Lakes, are in better shape and cleaner and more fish than they've been since I've been alive. No question. But if you go to a pond in your backyard, let's say an acre pond, you're the only guy, you see that 365 days a year. You never see anybody else on it, right? You throw the same goddamn lure over and over and over again. How many times are you going to capitalize and do as good as you did the first week?
Right.
Just this, and I study this stuff all the time. Fish behavior, fish reaction to lures, sounds, waves, colors.
That's me.
University of Notre Dame just came out with their
Sorry,
studies
Ruben.
on stuff. Unbelievable. And there's a lot to it. And people forget that, but they forget sometimes you just go out there and throw a crankbait or a worm, weightless Texas rig stuff, and you can slaughter them. It just have fun with it. Don't worry about it. Just, and I think
See,
that's
that's
where
why
people get upset.
that's why I never will, never could, or ever get into any of the tournament stuff, is because I would just get too amped up about that. I'm too competitive when it comes to stuff, and it
Well,
would just take the fun out.
Hellabash just made a great point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exact
He
same
lives up
thoughts.
there in the God's country, how many fish do they have up there, and how many different lakes? They have no idea in Minnesota what a fishing pressure is like. I hear this all the time up there. Well, these fish are getting conditioned, but there's a shit ton of lakes.
Right.
And you come down to Indiana and fish 8 lakes in the entire state. Every 5-pounder's been caught 10 times in his life. That's where you see some of this JDM stuff and everything coming to play. They've never seen it before.
Right.
It's
Right.
not
And
that
that's
it's better. It's just they've never seen it before.
so, yeah, and I think it depends on the place too. And lakes are cyclical too. I have lakes where I used to kill them, and then the lake changes. The lake is completely choked with grass. Well, that's great for the fish because now they've got a bajillion places to hide. Now it's harder for me to catch them. Instead of 3 big grass mats on the lake, or pads, now the whole lake is that. How do you find them?
Yeah.
So there's different, like Trevor's saying, Gunnersville's loaded with good quality bass, pressured every day, with and without. Yeah, exactly. And I really liked, I had it here. Francisco, too many tournaments being fished. I agree, man. You see the mortality rates of some of these tournaments and stuff. And some of these lakes are just getting pounded by the people that are saying, well, I'm not catching as many of my tournaments. Well, there were 17 tournaments on that lake last month.
Well, here, and I'm a big advocate of that. Exactly what he's saying there too. It's not that there's too many tournaments. I think there's too many tournaments of lack of fish care.
Yeah, it should be a bigger thing. Like if your fish comes in dead, or but
well,
see, that's even
mortality
the
rate
hard part.
afterwards, post release is what I'm talking about too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is a lot of them might swim off. Like I used to have 15 fish tanks, and the stress you can put on a fish, they might look fine and die the next day from stress. Same thing for bass. You carry them around in a live well all day, they might swim off, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be belly up, the next day. I don't know how to fix that.
Well,
I'm not saying all tournaments should be, done away with, but that's got to be part of it too.
Huge thing is oxygen in the water, right?
Right. Yep.
And then I see these tournaments. I'm a big believer that I just try, even on the big, I won't say what series, but on the big series, they come in to weigh in. Guess what color their bags are? Black. In the middle of summer.
Into it. Yeah.
You know what that
Roasting
does to the water inside of there? And they talk.
That's why I like MLF. Just catch and release and go from there. I like that format.
I've been in tournaments like that, and I really like it. The same time, I've had bass boats for 20 some odd years now, my own, and every tournament I had, I let that aerator go. I don't do the all this chemical stuff, recirculating stuff. The bottom line is that aerator is going the whole time, recirculation of water.
Yep.
Yeah,
fresh water.
I can't tell you the last time I lost a fish in a tournament. Now, mind you, I've not fished a lot of tournaments the last couple of years, but I fished in hot water, but it's a big deal. And they say catch, they got great release rate. Yeah, but I've been on a national tournament, qualified for the nationals on, I fished that in Lake Gunnersville they're talking about, but I was on a Kentucky lake. This is back in 2014. They brought them into the scales and they had no post fish care after weighed in.
A lot too, which is great.
They dumped them back in the water. We're talking about a 200 boat national tournament, right? With a team tournament, 400 guys. I saw a 12-pounder and a 9-pounder floating on Kentucky Lake. You know how long it took a fish on Kentucky Lake at 12 pounds?
Any lake to get 12 pounds.
I was so upset with that tournament series. I didn't fish them again.
Yeah.
Just because, not that I had a chance to win or did even well. It was just, one of those things where, I may not be the greatest fisherman, but I know how to catch fish and I know how to make lures to catch fish. But I also give a shit about being able to go to that lake again and catch them again.
Exactly. Exactly. Pooch guy, dude, I completely agree. Thank you for the $1.99. I will toast to that, my friend. I agree. I don't know why Tackle Warehouse switched and did the week format. It does suck. I agree. I love Tackle Warehouse. Of course, they are a partner of the channel, but I agree. It should just all be the regular 15, 20% throughout. I will say keep a lookout for December 1st, which is what? Is that Monday? Monday. They have quite a few brands going to 25% off, and look for other deals. I'm trying to help you guys. Because there's been people say, oh, 15% off sucks. This isn't even worth it. I'm like, I just bought stuff at 15% off. It sure of hell's worth it to me. If you find it cheaper somewhere else, I've tried to tell you guys when I see them. Excite Baits, I think, is having 40% off. Arc right now, Arc Rods is having buy one, get one free on a lot of stuff, rods and reels, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I try to shoot you guys straight. And if there's stuff out there, Hellabass could probably drop whatever the Omnia stuff is. I think they had members reward points, and I don't remember some other things, but I think they've got a 20% off of everything coming up. So yeah, buy stuff where you like, but I don't understand why somebody would jump on one of my videos and say, oh, you're talking about 15% off. That's worthless. Like, okay. And
hey,
it's very small. But
does this look familiar?
Hey, old Debo crank.
We're coming out with new colors here soon, but that's the color you came up with. I love that thing. The Little Banger, it's called. We got on our website right now, Black Friday.
Yeah, and check out Monster Bass. Like Mike was saying, they got a bunch of stuff on sale, boxes, cranks. Look for what fits you. Just right here, JK talking about Amazon stuff. I haven't looked at anything on Amazon, to be honest. Cashin, of course, Cashin, one of the partners of the channel, they have, I think, $70 off their Icon rods, which is a great deal. Yeah, a bunch of places out there. So find what works for you. But yeah, here, Andrew Tackle Talk talked about, oh, I thought he was going to say sales. I was going to say Andrew at Tackle Talk did a whole thing on Black Friday sales as well. So he's posted a bunch of stuff. What was he saying with the Fishers Bobs, who said that FFS isn't considered an influence for bass because it's almost all catch and release? Yeah, and that's the thing is realistically, how many people out on the lake have FFS? And just because you have FFS doesn't mean you're catching fish automatically. So that's my argument is it's got to be a very small portion of these people out on the lake that have it. And still, just because you have it isn't a guarantee. It's not a heat-seeking missile.
No,
it's just...
It can't, I'm not a crappie guy, but I heard about that. And but I am a musky guy, though, and I know I've talked to a lot of guides up north, musky guides, and it's almost unfair. It's not a fish at 10,000 casts with a good forward-facing sonar. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and I don't know. That's why I see the good and bad in it. I don't know.
It is
what my take on it is.
It's I don't really have an opinion on it because, to be honest with you, I'd be lying if I'm saying I'm really good at it. I like going. I'm a power guy too, power fisherman. If I see a dog, you fish with me. I don't sit still very long. So.
Dude, I got to thank you on the stupid tube business because my stupid tube game has been 1,000 times better. I was still fishing it wrong for me, how I wanted to fish it on a spinning setup. Mike's like, "No, man, you got to try it. You got to try a casting setup." And that coupled with the speed reload that you showed me, dude, it works on any tube. Anybody that says it doesn't has never tried it or is using really frail tubes.
But I was just in a store down in where the hell was I? Outside of Alabama, outside of Birmingham, Alabama, and they were talking about how good these guys were with tubes and this, that, and the other, and they got this new stupid tube thing, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that's terrible. And what do you mean? Have you ever seen the speed load? And why do you have such light wire hooks? And what you're using spinning rods? I'm like, oh my God. So I showed this guy, and he's like, holy crap, they had no idea. What
see, that's the thing is
stupid tube came from Indiana,
See, I always fished a tube back in the day, but I always used an open hook, a little bit lighter. And with that,
Right.
you don't have a problem with spinning rods. You can do that all day.
Oh yeah.
But once you go to a
No,
little bit heavier hook and, bury that in there with the gap, you got to swing on them, man. You got to swing on them and
a
set
buddy
that
of
hook.
mine, I fished Angler's Choice team tournaments for years with Brad and Greg Zellers. They're owner of Bite Me Tackle. They make the tube jigs and all kinds of stuff, And that guy, we finished first and second in the league that year. Guess what we were fishing with for a whole series, right? And Greg was my partner. We've lost to his dad and his buddy, but Greg would fish that stuff with an 8-pound test. And you seen the way I set the hook, and I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
And that's the
But
thing too about that's the thing too about forward-facing sonar that cracks me up is nobody has you handcuffed with a pew pew to your head saying you got to use forward-facing sonar.
no,
Like, go out and just fish and have fun, It cracks me up. Now I get it. Tournament guys have a different argument, right? Because if you're fishing for money and you feel it's unfair, but at the same time, like you can go out and learn it just like this other guy did,
I'm not.
It's tough.
I'm back and forth on it all the time. Just
I know.
and
I
at
see
the
both.
same time, I got him. I'm not very good at it, but I see both sides of it. But what it is showing
Yeah.
us, a lot of shit we were told over the past 40, 50 years in these magazines were full of shit.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
completely. The amount you can learn from it, even if they like don't allow it in tournaments, but then I don't know. But yeah, I completely agree. The amount you can learn from it, the way you see how the fish react and stuff,
Right.
it's crazy.
What I
It's
really
cool.
liked about it, the one little bit I'm using it, was I learned where the bay fish were at and what they were doing. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
mind you can always see them on side scan, but forward facing sonar is a different animal when you're seeing bay fish react live. And what I've noticed, and more than anything, what has taught me this year is on these lakes up north, how the bay fish reacted to my boat.
Oh yeah.
And it
Sure.
really showed me a lot with that, on and off the trolling motor type of stuff, noises, how close they would get, and so it kind of going back to being self-aware. It's just because you got all that shit on your boat now too. It's more stuff to make noise too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I fished the Toyota series one year in Lake of the Ozarks. Did really well, and I screwed up the first day. Should have been in the top 10, but anyway, I noticed on that it's a rock bottom lake. I was catching fish in 5 feet or less, and it was in a fall tournament, right? Rock bottom. I turned all my sonars off, and all of a sudden, dude, it just was on. And I was in the same place. I turned the things back on, gone. Turn them off, waited 15, 20 minutes. I was getting lit up. I'm like, holy crap.
They say that. Yeah, they say that. That's
So it's
another
good,
good
like
one.
that we talked about earlier, pressure.
Yep.
They relate those pings and sounds and people in the boat. You've been up there to Balm Lake. We're talking about in Minnesota. I used to chase the biggest fish on the lake every year on a nest. Never could get her to bite, and it was crystal. It's crystal clear water up there. It was on a sandy
Mm-hmm.
area with a one log, and I would sit and fish that thing, and then I laid down the boat, put my power poles down, and laid down in my boat and sat there half an hour. And all of a sudden, I couldn't believe it.
Everything die off.
Now everything turned off. Now my boat became a piece of cover to them. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's sometimes you've got to think outside the box, I think, with a lot of this stuff too, with as many people are out there. And Adam, great point. Yes, I shared that on my Instagram. Kistler has, I think, 50% off still of rods, which is a killer deal.
Kistler makes some good stuff.
Kistler makes some damn good rods. KLX is my favorite. If you guys are looking over there, it's kind of the mid-price, $199. So you can get a KLX for $100. Steal.
Sorry to interrupt.
We
just got the new Lunker Stick Pros. You can pre-order them on Black Friday. Buy one, get one free. And Rick just came up. He hired a guy used to, I think with Daiwa, used to design. I don't know. I may have this all wrong, but it's a new BFS rod. I've got 2 models. It's buy one, get one free on the new BFS rod, Black Friday sale on Monster Bass.
Dang. Another good sale.
Free. It's $229. Nice for rods. $229, but you get 2 of them.
Ooh, yeah. So same for that Kistler sale in Sunday night. Yeah, I was just looking at the frog rods too for that. Favorite frog rod that I've ever had. Sorry, yeah, I think we're getting a little bit of feedback on Mike's end when I talk since he doesn't have headphones in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm just kind of echoing on your side when I talk too loud.
DEBO'S duck calls.
Yeah, it sounds like a duck call people are saying in the back. UK says my bass catch have gone down since I got forward facing sonar. Yeah, because how often are you now looking at that, chasing bass on that, trying to catch the bass that you can see instead of just fishing off instinct, right? Again, just because you have it doesn't mean you're going to catch them, you know. So
Some of that too, he may not be reading the cover.
yeah,
He may
and
not
there are a
see
whole
the
bunch of them.
targets. You know what I mean? I
How
don't
about
know. I
Brookville?
noticed that too.
Have you been to Brookville Lake? Is that in Indiana?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good lake. Good lake. Use a lipless on that thing. That's a good lake.
What are your thoughts? I know my buddy Philip is in here. He asked about it earlier and I forgot about it. Have you fished the Incision 69 from Monster Bass? Thoughts on it, the lipless there?
Yeah, I'm biased.
Oh, sure. I get
I'm
it.
biased. I've created them before, and it's a good one. It's real good lipless. But I'm glad to say Rick and I have worked together, and I got my new lipless I helped design for Monster Bass coming out this winter. With the we were able to put in the on
Rotating
the
hook
hook
hangers.
swivels and the hook hangers again, and we made it silent. When I designed for other companies that concept, we were out selling silent to rattle 3 to 4 to 1.
Dude, that's because nobody has them. I've even taken some of mine and drilled them after you and I were talking. I took some
Yeah.
of my booyahs, drilled a little hole, super glued it, and fished it that way. They don't. How often are they seeing a silent lipless?
You used to see them a lot, but now, yeah. And but people don't understand. I spend a lot of time, as underwater listening to stuff. I got a 40-foot pool. It's 8 foot deep, and I get under there and listen to different blades and rattles. Uncle Steve.
Yeah. Mike got him using a stupid or a bait caster stupid tube now too.
Yeah. That where was I going? Sorry, squirrel.
What were we talking? I don't even know.
There an underwater, a
Oh yeah,
lipless
in the pool.
crankbait always makes noise, even with the hardware. Even if you keep it silent. So sometimes that rattle can be overbearing if they've seen it too many times.
I agree with James, dude. Jim, I completely agree. When my buddy goes out, Brando, bless his soul, he got 2 forward-facing sonars, one for the front, one for the back. And when I've used it, dude, it is just so nice for always being able to see exactly what I'm fishing. I never catch fish off it like I see the fish. I've done that once, but for me, it's like I know exactly where that structure is at that I can't see above water and fish it. And I think that is truly the beauty of it.
Yeah. Steve was on there. He caught his PB in Minnesota or PB4 Minnesota this year on a bait caster with a stupid tube. He never ever. I got him off that spinning rod deal with that, and he caught a 6 and change up there, a largemouth in northern Minnesota
Hell
on
yeah.
that this year.
That's a big one. One of the skills I was in. But yeah, I agree. What dog? That's completely part of it. I think that's one of probably the biggest differentiator between a weekend regular hobbyist angler and a good tournament angler is the ability to consistently find fish. And yeah, I'm sure with forward facing sonar, man, that just cuts out the learning curve, a ton. So I don't know. I agree. I could see why that would turn people off. I agree.
Well, there's a lot to that too, and the behind the scenes on a finding fish, so to speak. You've seen a lot of that this year, disqualifications and different things too.
That's true. Yeah, that's true as well. Who knows? Well, see, that's the other thing too, is a lot of these guys, I see them griping about forward facing sonar and stuff, but how many of these guys have 8 million waypoints saved that these new guys don't, right? Just because of the sheer time that they've fished. So then you've got that learning curve. So then where do those electronics come in? Are those, I don't know.
I was fishing another Bassmaster Open one time. It's been a long time ago on the James River, right? And the top maybe 5 or 6 guys that finished in that tournament on a Bassmaster Open. That was when they had you win your end of the Bassmaster Classic,
Yep.
I think 5 of the top 10 were fishing within 100 yards of each other, 75 miles away from the boat launch. Now, that we had 2 days of practice. You know what I mean?
Who's your bait tube company?
That's Jim Miller on. Yeah, that's my buddy Jim Miller. He bought Snack Daddy lures out of Michigan. They used to make some of the best double dip tubes around. Jimmy bought them, and him and his son are now running. He's a veteran and a fireman and all that stuff, and he's been up there to Garrisons.
Hell yeah. Let's look.
They make
you have a website, Hoosier?
Yeah, HoosierBaitCompany.com, I believe it is. Oh, put in the code DOVE25, you get 25% off their stuff. I forgot about that.
No gimmicks, just bites. Oh, and he makes stupid tube. Well, here we can show people and talk about, because
they don't have many pictures on it, but he's got good stuff on there.
Well, let's because it is Small Business Saturday, and that's something I also wanted to say is just, with all these sales and stuff that I show and all these other people show, don't forget to support your local tackle makers. Kuda was in here. Kuda, I'm sorry I didn't share your photo earlier and say hi, but yeah, he said 190 people in here. He's been talking. Kuda, speaking of good people, good person. If you're looking for custom jigs and stuff and you want to do something completely your way, dude, hit Kuda up. That's the cool thing about working with small companies is you can hit Kuda up and be like, dude, I want this exact color. Boom. Now I couldn't hit up Dirty Jigs and be like, hey, Dirty Jigs, will you do this color? No, buy what we've got.
Who's Your Bait Company? Jim Miller's his name. He's on Facebook. He's on all kinds of stuff. To hit him up, send him a message. What you want, he'll make it. He made some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to share that here.
Rob, just a small deal.
Hopefully you're doing better too, brother. I know you've been going through some rehab and stuff after the surgery, so I hope you're good.
Can you demonstrate speed load?
Let's see. Yeah, I was going to show how to do your speed reload real quick here.
Okay.
I had Tackle Warehouse brought up in case anybody wanted to talk. The only question I saw about gear was a spinning reel. I would have to ask what your budget is, what you're looking to do, that kind of stuff. But like, if I were to say right now, I just got the new Noski. I haven't got to fish it yet, but I know the old ones, if you can still find them on sale, great reel. The Daiwa Regal or Revros, if you want to save some money. I pretty much stick to Shimano and Daiwa on my spinning reels.
I bought I'm not a big spinning reel guy, but I like certain things about them. I want a certain thing in it. And that Shimano Mirabelle, I think it is, I bought last year. That's for the money. Holy crap,
dude! I agree. I've said that's about as high price as I need to go on a spinning reel. That has everything you need. Great spinning reel. Completely agree. That's just above the Nasi. And now the Nasi kind of takes over that because it's like $120 something.
Yeah, they've gone up.
Yeah, so it kind of takes over that spot. But they've added stuff to the Nasi or whatever.
I think on their website you can send him a message, or you can contact me or whatever. He's also on Facebook. They respond to. They spend a lot. There's not a lot of pictures on there right now. They're updating their stuff. I was just over there the other day, wanting them to a color for me. I want it made.
Oh, look what it is, the Dove Special.
Go figure.
Look at there. I feel like this is some horrible shameless marketing here, Mike. What did you lead us into?
No, I didn't do that. No.
Mike knows that's the only color available. Oh, what do you know? It's the one do you
Jimmy,
use
the owner of that company, has been up to the Hero Getaway before, and he lives about 15 miles down the road from me. So I try to support any veteran-owned company, I can, especially small ones. And he spent a lot of money buying all that stuff and gear, and everybody's wanting that Snack Daddy. The Great Lakes guys tear it up with that. They love it. And he hand dips these tubes. And that's a lot of work, dude.
Yeah, it is. 4.0. And he's got 4.0. What do you use for your stupid tubes? 3.5?
3.5 inch, but they could be the 4. But Well, I can't really see it right now. It's the mini.
Yeah, the mini Hoosier 3.5.
Yeah, the mini. Yeah,
Always
that's
got
not
the
as
web special. But I will say that color is badass. It's dark with a blue undertone, so he dips it blue first and then the dark over it.
right.
And I was going to see if he had, because people ask a lot about the does he not have the jig heads? Oh yeah, here we go.
What are you looking
So
for?
people are asking about, so like the stupid tube jig head. So this is an example of why the stupid tube is different. Essentially makes your tube weedless. Somebody was asking before. So instead of having like the round hook that sticks up out of the tube where it's exposed, this you can kind of Texas rig it into it. And you can just Texas rig a tube too. I know Dustin's in here. Dustin is a big fan of just flipping a tube, Texas rig, and you can certainly do that as well. But this kind of combines it all. It gives it a different fall look to it, kind of a spirally, weird look to it. So it's kind of just a cool, different way to fish it, and it really does catch them. It's a kind of a, I guess, slept on for a lot of people. Some people, have thrown it a bunch. River guys, Minnesota guys, and stuff. Like you said, Indiana over there, Ohio. But yeah, a lot of people kind of, I guess, sleep on it. But yeah, check out them. Always appreciate a small business help and support. I was going to show the speed reload here quick. Let's see if we get a question that Mike can start talking on. And
Yeah.
well, actually, here, this is a good one to talk to real quick. I was wondering about Thunderhawk myself. I heard they're going out of business. What's happening? So are they?
Don't
I
know.
think they're just not gonna. They're not probably gonna sell anymore, maybe. And
The last I heard since I left, and mind you, this has been over a year ago now. Last I heard, they're selling an inventory they had, and he's going to keep on in manufacturing side.
be done.
Be done. Don't take that as gospel.
Right. Yeah. Just what you last knew. Yeah. I've not heard either. So I've not heard from anybody over there. I used to talk to them, and nobody over there has said anything to me for a long time. So
he offered me a job to come back and do it, and I said no. It just difference of philosophy.
Yep. That's okay. Like you said, at least it was a good way to part ways, and always good to leave it that way and find something else that makes it.
I learned a lot from him. Trust me, because I was over there being an actual manufacturer. I've been to 20 different, plants build different fishing products all over the world. Now, I learned a lot.
It can be, Kirk. Depends on the person fishing it.
Well, that's a good point. We named the last one I designed.
I'll be right back.
The stupid uncle.
Take over. Yeah, take over chat. Take over. If you have any thing that you want to talk about, or you had anything, go for it. I don't know.
I can't see any comments, but
Brookville. What do you use at Brookville? That's a good one.
Brookville, use a lipless and a tube. Lipless. Right now, I'm again a selfish plug. Go to monsterbass.com. We got a huge sale going on. There's some lipless in there. There's some cranks in there. We got a new one called the Money Maker. It works. You don't tell anybody the colors and stuff, but it does work very well. The Money Maker, it's like a 6-foot diving plug, but it's got a little willow leaf on the bottom of it with a swivel, and that little extra flash. Brookville can be clear sometimes, but it's got good smallies in it too. That little flash in there seems to do something. It's about 6-foot diving crankbait and top water. It depends on what time of year, but I've caught a lot of fish on that lake, focusing in on shad. Now, mind you, I'm not great on that lake, but I've been on there quite a bit, and I've seen some guys do really well getting. There's been some big tournaments on that lake. For people who don't know, that's in eastern Indiana, near Ohio. There's a lot of people out of Cincinnati that drive all the way up there, out of Cincinnati, Ohio, to fish that lake. Good fish in it. It's got smallmouth, largemouth. I think there's some wipers in there too, if I'm not mistaken. But pretty cool body of water. But go to monsterbass.com. We got a ton of stuff on sale. The vaults, the tackle storage system we got compares half price to anybody else. Buy 2, get 2 free. The rods are buy 1, get 1 free. The lures, you put them in the cart, you'll see a huge discount going on right now. But on Brookville, I like the best times I've had on Brookville, even though I throw a tube a ton, is some moving baits that imitate a shad, some iridescent looking stuff or shiny stuff, if that makes sense. Now, there's guys that argue with me that fish, that's just the way I like to do that. Spinner baits, we have great spinner baits. Anything flashy in the spinner baits on that lake, I think works really well. Brookville. We're talking about Brookville, Indiana.
Oh,
that's what I was saying. It's a good lake on the east side of Indiana near Ohio. And as you're going that way, there's guys that fish that all the way come up from Cincinnati to fish that lake. That's considered a home lake for Cincinnati guys too.
Oh yeah, dude. Francisco, if you've never fished a tube on the river, dude, tube is a staple on the river. So I will show this real quick. This is actually a stupid uncle tube right here.
Okay.
I'm going to, whoops. Here we go. Okay, so the stupid tube reload. So this works for any of them. I know Mike was saying like some people say, oh, you can't use this on like the super salty ones. I've been using it on my Strike King tubes, doesn't matter. So basically line up your tube just like this to where your hook point's going to be flat on the back of it. This is a 4-aught. Usually I use a 3-aught. So you have to match the size of your hook to your tube to make sure it's in the meat, the solid part of it. But I'm going to lay this next to it and see how much of an angle that tube has to go down. So you really have to angle this when you go in. So you just pinch your tube together. And like this one has the crease you could use, or you can just kind of measure it up with your fingers like this. But I'm really going through and trying to keep this as straight as I can when I'm going through it back at an angle like that. So I'm just going through the top of it. So instead of going through like a lot of people do where you have to cut the jig head off and you go up in the back of the tube and flip it and all this, I'm just going in just like I would with a regular hook through the top of it. And then I'm just going to kind of take my fingers and wiggle the plastic over it. You could wet it. I'm trying to do this around my microphone, but I'm going to take this and just kind of wiggle the plastic until it kind of jumps up over the head of that, just like that. And you'll just be left with your line tie sticking out. Now, one thing I do, and I don't know, Mike said he didn't do this when he was up there, but it has drastically increased the hookup ratio for me. I don't have any scissors here, but I take scissors and split the bottom of it, not all the way to where you get to the hook, but I take and split it this back, like, I don't know, inch maybe. Let me see if I don't have a knife up here. Oh, I do have a knife. Look at this. Somebody sent me a Swiss Army knife, one of these little ones. Remember these? You used to keep these in your pocket as a kid. But take one of these. It's got the old school little scissors on it. I take this and I cut it just about like that to cut it the belly open, just like you would like a paddle tail swim bait. That way, when I rig this now you just rig it just like you would like a Texas rig. I'm going to go in there. Your hook sits flat right on top. You see how that hook point's just barely sticking up? You can leave it open, or you can just take your plastic and like you would a Texas rig, just barely expose it. But then for me, that's been big because when you get the bite and that pops through, it's only going through one piece of plastic. Whereas if you leave that all whole, it's trying to pinch down on two. So it's helped me a lot. That's your stupid tube. It definitely will catch them. If you have a problem with hookup, you can even bend this up. The hook can bend that point up just a little bit more and then expose it like that. And it stays buried. And you've got a weedless little tube, and it's got this cool, like, spirally fall to it. And when you pop it, it's got this like kick to it. Looks like a bait fish. And Mike, yeah, you got anything to add? You're the stupid tube pro.
Yeah, a couple little things on there too. It makes it work good. And I've seen it when I was down in Alabama trying to explain to a store owner. The reason that works good is because that lead in that is actually teardropped. It's not perfectly round. So that's how you can speed load it without making a big hole.
Oh.
You teardrop it and fold it over itself. Another thing, a little quick tip I do, if you're looking at the eye of it down to the hook, tip that, not just up, but you can tip that hook over just a slight 1 or 2 degrees so it doesn't follow the same path as the line tie.
Yeah, so he's saying the hook right now where it's perfectly in line with the eye of it, he's saying take your hook and just bend it to the left or right so it's off kilter. So instead of being straight on, it's kicked off to the side a little bit. That way, even if it goes straight down the side of the fish, it's going to catch.
And I use 99% of the time, there's people going to think I'm nuts. I use 30-pound braid to a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader and just jack them as hard as I can. And that way, when you have to. I don't lose many fish on it. And the guys talk, oh, I lose so many fish on tubes. I just don't.
Drag. Yeah, I mean I want to play with braid to a leader more because yeah, you get the best of both worlds, especially on something like that. You get the sensitivity of the braid, but you still got that shock, kind of leader to it, and the invisibility of the fluorocarbon. How about your liplesses? Do you throw a lipless on braid or fluoro?
I've gotten to anymore. About just about everything I got, even top water, I'll go to a braid to some kind of fluorocarbon or mono. And just because I've gotten so used to the feel, even like spinner baits, I can feel when the blades, when it's being overtaken from behind of big fish, when they sometimes eat a spinner, they take it from behind. When I can feel those blades stopping, I know it's
The
time.
toilet bullet.
People like single hooks baits is what I'm talking about. Now, crankbait, treble hook's a little different animal, but I even moving baits like a chatter bait or a spinner bait or something like that. I use braid, a fluorocarbon or a mono leader on top water, and I'll get to that in a second. But I do that one that does have some shock absorption, like you said, Debo, or see through, but it gives me the sensitivity of that braid. I said before, I've designed a lot of rods in the past for different companies, made my own at one time. And I can tell you, sensitivity, you can take a 150, less than $200 rod, make it feel like $400 rod if you use that braid to fluorocarbon reed. You feel
Completely agree.
so much more.
Agree. Brian, the one thing I will add to that, so he was talking to my buddy Chris about what he used, and I will agree most of the time I will use fluoro. The only thing I would say is if you're throwing really long casts and you have kind of a softer rod, that braid to a leader can definitely help increase your hookup ratio to ensure you're getting the hook set and actual penetration with the hooks on those longer casts. But yeah, if you're not like super bombing it, I agree. Fluorocarbon straight up on a moving bait like that is my go-to as well.
I think a lot of it is muscle memory too, on a braid to fluorocarbon, no matter what I'm casting, and also the feel. And then, be honest with you, I've had some braid on my reels I've had for 3 years.
Sure. Yeah. And you just replace
retie
leaders
a
as well.
leader, you know?
Yeah. Ooh, this is interesting because to me, this is two different things, two different ways of fishing, two different looks. So Nuts was asking questions, stupid tube or free rig. Have you messed with a free rig much, Mike?
Yeah, I have. Free rig I do with more of a creature bait. The reason I say that, because the free rig, that's just me. Free rig, I can't really fish it as weedless as a stupid tube. That makes sense. But a free rig I can use especially if I use something with TPE,
Like a floating type of.
Yeah, the free rig, I let it go down. I've done this in my pool, and then it comes back up, and then pull it back down, and it just gives separation. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's a different.
It's
a different look
deal
to me. Yeah, a whole different. Like when I'm working a tube, you almost get that fluke look out of it, where you get that jutting, that fall. It's almost like a fluke where you're looking for that action, and then that kind of fall of the fluke, kind of in that category. But you can fish it in rocks. It gets down quicker. Whereas the free rig for me, I almost think of more of like where I would fish a Ned rig or like a Texas rig even.
Yeah, I don't fish too many tubes on free rig. Now I will use a grande bass too. Make some really cool worms with the rattle or the air pocket in the back, rattle tail type deal.
Oh yeah, yep, airtail rattler.
Yeah, things like that. But I was into free rigs sometimes. But you've seen me fish. You know what's on deck most of the time.
Yeah, you got some awesome colors out here too.
Mm-hmm.
Red bug, morning dawn. I don't see it. I don't see a tequila sunrise though. I'm a little disappointed. That's hard to make when you're injecting and doing your own.
I bet you call Jim, cool. He'll figure it out.
Gigantor 13-inch. Holy smokes! Lizards are slept on. Little 6-inch lizard. Ooh, and he's got the big lizards too. Yeah, check out Who's Your Baits. Thanks for hopping in, man.
Yeah, send him a thing. Call him, and I tell you what, call him or send him a message. Say you saw him on DEBO'S show, and he'll take 25% off retail for you.
Hell yeah. And you're supporting a veteran
Yeah,
firefighter. Love
yeah.
it.
And his son quit his job to go do this full time too. He's doing it. They're
Oh, wow.
father-son combo to do this. They're all in.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was so I had a couple people asking me, they're like, "Hey, I heard you were talking to Mike about the kayak thing. Whatever came of that?" So Mike and I talked. I called Mike the other night, and what he's got's a little bit too big for me because he's got like the Hobie like saltwater, the 13.6 or whatever, a little big for me. But I still would love to if I ever, like, I don't work with any kayak companies. I don't have any kayak connections. You know, people are like, "Oh, you should just get a free kayak from." That's not how it works. You don't just ask a company and they give you a free one just because I have YouTube. You know, you're working your butt off. You've got to, you know, make that trade worth it for the company. And I'm not interested in, you know, trying 15 different kayaks and storing them. That's not my deal. But if the thing ever comes along where I get a free kayak from somebody or something, I would love to try to gift mine to somebody in need, whether it's a veteran or, you know, anybody that I could find that is in need of one, and gift it. And I know Mike and I were talking about that. He's like, "Dude, yeah, if you could find a veteran, that would be awesome." Yeah, if I could, because man, veterans just don't get enough love. The stuff they go through, and yeah, I couldn't even imagine some of the things.
And also
So
another thing like that, and I was one. I was in the military and the Navy, and I'm a veteran or a police officer forever. And I'm seeing it now. It's breaking my heart what's going on with some of these police officers nationwide too. Suicide rate, bankruptcies, and divorce of police officers is out off the charts right now in America.
yeah, that's why I talk mental health, because, you know, it's bad enough just for men. You know, we've had this stigma for so long that, oh, you know, don't be a sissy about it. Rub dirt in it. You'll be better, you know, with your mental state. When you look at the suicide rates of males, and then you look at the suicide rates of military, you know, veteran males, is even more staggering. So, yeah,
Right.
I'm a big proponent on helping somebody that's had, you know, mental stuff, whether it's anxiety, depression. I've gone through it. I've been to the worst of worst places, ready to be done. So I know how it goes. So if I can, you know, help somebody with these live shows, like I always say, I'm here to talk. I'm no therapist. Don't look at me that way, because I can't say I can help you, but I'll be an ear to listen, and try to help. But yeah, don't be afraid to get help.
If my buddy Perry is watching, Perry Edberg from Minnesota, put a message on here, Perry. He's a good dude. Has another lure company up in northern Minnesota called E-Lures. Does a lot of walleye stuff. And these guys, I spend a lot of time talking and getting ideas from these guys and stuff. You know, why I look at it, you know, monster bass, well, I do everything I can for them too, but I'm also supporting other guys. If there's no conflicts, then I help them out whenever I can, you know.
Yep.
These guys don't make crankmates. They don't make rods. They don't make a lot of stuff that we make. And so, you know, that they pay it twofold. So they come across the store that they can't handle, or somebody wants some of our stuff, they refer me to it. So that's what you're supposed to. And I want to talk about very beginning of the show. This is where the industry is a train wreck, because of the lack of being able to do those kind of things and get off the egos, help each other out. And industry as a whole is what we're talking about. The industry is fishermen. People forget that. They don't forget that.
A rising tide raises all boats. And that's the same way in YouTube. Like, there's been YouTube people that I've had on and never hear from them again. It's like, oh, cool. Like, you would think you'd want to try to help each other and be like, yeah, man, you know, hop on my show. I don't know. I guess maybe I was just kind of naive to some of that. And then you start to see these like little YouTube clicks and all this. I don't know. I stay out of the politics of YouTube crap. I want to have fun. Has to be fun. Just like Jason, dude. My man with a $20 bomb. Thank you, brother.
Hey.
Happy Thanksgiving. Don't usually make the lives, but always enjoy the replays. Caught my first lunker hunt spiderfish. Oh, Lord. Jason, what in the hell are you doing?
Awesome.
Get rid of the lunker hunt spiders. Go get yourself some frogs. I'm
Hey,
kidding.
didn't that win Best of Show one year?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I've not been a fan of them. It's a running joke on my channel. But hey, if you catch on them, dude, by all means, any topwater is better than nothing. So throw that. Yep. I'm just saying, maybe try a frog instead. But Jason, thank you so much for the $20 bomb, brother. I appreciate that. Then also hit up my guy Paul. So speaking of small companies, Paul G3 Baits. Paul, do you have a website yet? I don't think he did, but you can hit up Paul on Instagram. If you look up G3 Baits, he was one of the awesome gentlemen that came out and hung out with us at our subscriber meetup. But if you guys remember the 30-06 shell, actually I might have one here. The coolest. Even my grandpa was like, "Damn, that's awesome as hell." He makes the 30-06 Ned. Hold on, let me show you. Oh, people were asking about my hip. Yeah, my hip is still messed up. I'm pretty sure I tore something in it, which is awesome playing basketball. But this is it. So he actually took a 30-06 shell and made a Ned rig out of it. How badass is that, dude? See that? Can you see it?
Wow.
So he does the 3D prints of it now, can make, does runs of these, does a bunch of cool colors. But dude, some super cool stuff. He's, talk about somebody like you, Mike, that's always tinkering with stuff. Paul has his own connection knot now that he's like just made up tinkering with stuff instead of doing like an Alberto or an FG. He's made up his own connection knot, tinkers with all kinds of plastics. So yeah, I don't know if he's still in here. Let me scroll ahead quick.
You know what we need to do sometime, Debo?
I don't see, but yeah, hit him up on Instagram. Hit up Paul on Instagram. He's got a bunch of cool stuff. Check out his Instagram, G3 Baits. But stuff like this, stuff that like, who's doing that? Who's doing a freaking 30-06 shell? And I've caught fish on it. It's badass.
It works. I can see why it would.
It's cool.
You know what we need to do sometime is host up there at Garrison's Resort. Bring a bunch of the guys of these small companies and stuff, or guys that just tinker and like to make stuff. Come up, let's go fishing. We'll at the resort up north, and everybody awesome, hang out, and have a blast. That'd be cool as hell, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe we could do like because that would be up in northern Minnesota. So that would be, we could actually, because I've wanted to start to do a DEBO'S meetup in different places every year. This year, I've already said I'm going to the Classic. I'm going to try to go to ICAST. You won't really be able to meet up and hang out with me there, but the Classic, we're going to have time set aside. I think there's a few different YouTubers I'm going to try to get together with and do like a little meetup, meet and greet. And then, we might have something planned afterwards, but yeah, I mean, if we can make something work in northern Minnesota too, get the Minnesota, Wisconsin guys come hang out.
Middle September would be great up there. It's off season a little bit, but it's still great fishing, and I'll figure it out. We can maybe do something like that. This guy is exactly what I was saying before. Blind Eye, what he just said.
Let me see. I'm getting there. Sorry. Yeah. Funny enough, UK Storm. Every time I've fished a Nico, I'm sorry, not a free rig. Every time I've fished a Hellgramite on a Tokyo rig, which was the only thing I did when I fished it twice, I caught snapping turtles both times. So be warned. You might hook a big old snapping turtle on the old Hellgramite.
Yeah.
Let me see. So this was from Blind Eye. Let me see what else we got in here. Oh man, that's too bad. So my man Dustin uses some awesome tubes. He's got a secret color that I'm pretty jealous of, but he said Ray from Snack Daddy passed away a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you're right.
Damn, dude. I'm sorry.
And his wife, that's what Hoosier Bait Company bought from Snack Daddy Lures. That's what it used to be called.
Oh, that's what you were just talking. I didn't put the two and two together. Dustin, is that the Snack Daddy the tubes that you were using? Is that the same deal? I didn't put two and two together. I didn't realize those were the tubes.
Yeah, Ray just passed away, and his wife was sick for a long time.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. Well, we'll try to bring it back up here. That is 30-06, 30-7, whatever it takes. 308. Yeah. Whatever it takes. Get those Ned rig fish hooked up. Yes, hit the thumbs up. It all helps. Share it, watching, all the stuff. Yeah, still using my stockpile. Oh, it was from Snack Daddy. Well, yeah, those will be awesome then. Dustin's put an absolute clinic on with those things. He loves them.
Yeah,
there's
Jim,
Perry. I'm in. What's up? Perry, he just wanted to say hey.
Oh, there's my buddy Perry right there. He owns E-Lures out of, it's right on the border, Minnesota and Canada, right there on Lake of the Woods. He does a lot of, him and I brainstorm a lot up there and meet up in Minnesota and talk how to design and baits and lures, and we have a blast. I was just on the phone with him right before this podcast, actually.
Yeah, it'll keel. Thanks, brother. People, yeah, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. I don't know how the hell the YouTube does with all the algorithms and all that. So share it, like it, the normal. And if it shares it more, great. If it doesn't, it's all right. I'm more about quality over quantity. I'd rather have, a few thousand great people watching every single video supporting than getting crazy views on a Karen almost shot me on my boat at the boat dock and was on this private. Come on, man. Unless it's real, unless it's like some real thing, then I get it. Because some of those happen. I've watched a couple of them where I'm like, dude, like the dude,
Or how about
like Scoot Daddy. I forget what his real name is, but Scoot, super nice guy. He's a photographer, a videographer, super nice guy. And he was on that boat, if you remember a while back, where dude pulled up because he was like, I think he was like a charter guy, or not a charter guy, but like a guide. And he was doing video work for him or something. I don't remember. And dude was just an absolute prick, pulled up in front of these kids. And I don't remember the whole deal, but like that one, like, dude, I'd have been so freaking pissed. But some of these you can just tell they're set up looking and like, I don't know. Come on, dude. But anyway, I'm not in it for the.
I want to start seeing videos. Here we go, Debo. Here's a task for you.
Oh, Lord.
I want to start seeing more videos with actual fishing content, doing fishing rather than talking bullshit. How about that?
Dude, the thing is, you say that, and I
don't get as many likes. I know
you don't get the views. Yeah,
that's the views. It's crazy.
Get the views.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying as an industry.
Oh yeah,
let's talk real fishing.
Yeah, I like the on the water stuff. I like real guys out there fishing, like trying to help people doing the stuff, doing the stuff while they're out there fishing. Yeah, not just BS and pushing stuff and like, I don't know, but to each his own. Clearly people are watching those videos and stuff, so it has to be for your audience, and that's what I try to keep in mind with you all. Is I'm going to be out fishing, I'm going to be doing reviews. It's just going to be me having fun, because if this isn't fun, this gets shut down. I'm done, and I've almost done that a couple times, and I've worked through it. And especially last year, I was like, or this year, sorry, at the end of 2024, I was going through some stuff, and I'm like, dude, it's got to be fun through 2024. Sorry, into 2023, into 2024 and 2025, and that's what it's been, is having fun again. The kayak helped a crap ton with that. Kayak fishing is a blast. So
that's why I love my buddy's channel, Mikey Balls Fishing on YouTube. I love his stuff, and I told him, dude, it's organic. It looks, he's doing it. He's catching fish. He's done it forever. About it,
Yeah, he's done it forever. He knows how to grow that audience. I mean, he was sharing videos a while back that were like, what, 15 years old, something like that, doing like the old school video. Yeah, he's just a dude that's out there, loves to fish, and does a little bit of all of it. That's what I like, is the nerds that like to nerd out over reels and gear and lures and fishing.
And he tells it like it is too. When it's bullshit, it's bullshit, just because if it looks like a, what's the word I want to, if it's got tentacles all over it and a piece of rubber, doesn't mean it should sell for $20 in a 5x5 cube box, It doesn't mean it's going to be good for you.
Yep. The kayak. Oh Lord, Brian, come on. Kayak show Debo the drop shot can actually not be the devil. It's still the devil. It's less of a devil when fished from the kayak. So
yeah,
agreed. What do we got? Let's open it up to you all. What do you got for questions for Mike and I? The industry. I know we've kind of been all over the place tonight. It's been fun. I like these where it's just a lost dog looking for squirrels.
Anything you want to know about what's going on, or what lures, or
yeah, or any questions for Mike about monster bass? Yeah, they got the old grass piece. Was it the grass piece?
The grass burner.
Brand
new just came out. They're selling like crazy. We did a test run of that, one color, and it sold out immediately. So it came up with 6 new colors. We bought the rights from Evolution Baits, if you're familiar with
the grass. Yeah, it used to be Evolution's grass. What is it? Grass something.
And then it's a body. It weighs 7/8 of an ounce. It's pretty big, but I'll tell you, you can fish it alongside, like where you would a whopper plopper, not to replace whopper plopper, but you can fish it in that category. It's a body with 2 treble hooks on it. It's got a buzz bait, and we paint the blade on it too. It's pretty cool. It makes a different, unique sound. Again, like you're talking about, what fish get conditioned to, how many times they've seen this running across the top,
Yeah, I used to have one from Evolution. They're pretty cool. I think I only caught a couple bass on it, but the pike blowups that I got on that thing, dude,
Yeah.
I still stand by it. Pike topwater beats a lot of bass fishing days. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're talking about,
Sorry.
I work for a bass lure company, but I'm telling you, you want to have a good time. Take a lot of the same stuff. Just maybe beef up your hooks a little bit and have a leader. You can have a blast chasing pike with bass tackle. A blast. And they eat good too.
Brian, Mike sent me a black and blue monster bass spinnerbait a while back. At first, I was wondering if I'd ever use it. Now it's one of my favorites. Yeah, branching out into different stuff and trying different things. Always fun. Do we see any more of those Debo crappie cranks? Nope, those were a limited deal over at Monster Bass. When they're gone, they're gone. So I don't think they have any left over there. I don't believe. You like the lives with the higher viewer interaction. Most fish videos are unboxings, so I can see the lures. Yeah, Lucas, that's something that I've talked about with who? Was it William? I think my buddy William. I do these unboxings and stuff, and I just don't have enough time to fish everything. So a lot of times you only see the videos where I'm actually catching stuff. I need to make more of a point to almost do like an unboxing video and then do a follow-up video immediately after out showing the stuff on the water, giving my initial thoughts, that kind of stuff, because it's tough. It's tough to follow up. Mike, what do you got? You're doing show and tell? Look like you just grabbed something there.
No.
Oh, okay.
But that's the one we were talking. Is that the one they're talking about? They're calling it a crappie bait?
Yep, the little banger. No, I did a crappie color of it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, those are all gone. That's the only one we got.
Draw. Yeah, which is funny. Yeah, because I know when I talked to Rick about it, he's like, "Yeah, I can't believe the bluegill didn't sell better." I'm like, "Yeah, I would have thought that would have been like one of the first ones to go, but
it catches fish.
It does. I've used it around here. They're cool.
That little banger. They got little ribs under it too, kind of stabilized a little bit. I fish this thing on 8-to-1 gear ratio. You got to have a real limber rod because you're just burning the hell out of it, But we got 8 new colors of that coming out real soon. We worked on the colors, and this is one we're going to come out with. I was showing you that color right there, sexy cracks. And that one looks pretty cool. We got a gizzard shad coming out. It's beautiful, and tequila is coming out. I'm bringing it, and Rick agreed to it. We got it. Our painters, I showed them what I wanted. Called tequila, coming out in that little banger.
I'm pumped. I love that color. Francisco, yeah, I agree. That's the thing. People have to kind of take, what you watch with a grain of salt, because what works in one area might not work for you. But that doesn't mean you can't do something similar or change what you're doing a little bit to kind of mimic that and have it work in your area. Because that's the thing, is a lot of people be like, "Oh, I don't have $100,000 bass boat. I don't watch pro fishing." Dude, you know how much I've learned? I've learned a ton from watching pro fishing, and I don't watch it religiously, but where they're doing stuff, how they're working it. You might not be fishing Gunnersville, but if you have a grassy lake, a lot of that stuff you can apply to how you're fishing it or where, those kind of things. So,
well, that brings a good point. What he just said right there. I'm Monster Bass is a national company. It's all over the place, right? So I deal with store owners and vendors, Minnesota, Florida, Texas, Maine, all that stuff. And I agree with that comment. All you got, and that's what we're trying to do with some of the new colors we created. Not get something that fits wherever you're at. Well, you're up north, bluegills, perch, alewives, gobies, down south, crawdad's a crawdad, down south, more shad based stuff, thread fins in some parts, gizzard shads and others. So that's hard for a company to do that, but we're trying to do the best we can to offer a little diversity for everybody. And sometimes some colors don't even make any damn sense. They just work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this wild thing, I threw a wild thing color in the Bandit 200. Makes no sense. It's like orange or pink or orange, purple, chartreuse, a bunch of stupid colors, kind of like Fire Tiger, right? Mm-hmm. Some crazy colors. You'd be like, why is this catching fish? But Francisco had a question. Dove, what is your number one bait this year? The biggest producer
this year, hands down. I went back to what I used to just do all the time. I went back to spinner baits. Hands
Yes,
down.
make spinnerbaits great again.
I think I hate, and Perry will say this. He's on here too. He saw it. I come up with some new colors that I'm working on for monster bass, and I use the monster dissecting their spinnerbaits for them, and I've retied some stuff, and I'm working on some colorways that it was so odd. I fished a highly pressured smallmouth lake near St. Cloud with a guy on his home body and kicked the living shit out of these fish. And then I took it to another lake near the Twin Cities, took it down south to Alabama, did the same thing, came back to Minnesota. I fished 8 lakes on it in Minnesota this year. Every lake I went to, the fish act like I saw them chasing it for 20, 30 feet away in this color. And it was a color blade configuration. And this year was the year of the spinnerbait, and I got to talking to people. I think part of it is we have a whole generation of guys that don't even know what a spinnerbait is and fishing nothing but a chatterbait. It's just, again, what we're talking about before, conditioning. Spinnerbait
And
used
cycles.
to be a monster, you know. So we got a lot of good spinnerbaits. And I'm working on some new colors, some new different things. And I like broken glass look. We got some new colors coming on crankbaits too. A color we call Cylon. Remember the Battlestar Galactica? The Cylons, that chromy look?
No, I don't. I never got into Battlestar, and I was a nerd, but I never got into that.
We got some new
jerk
jerkbaits coming out. We put it in. We got a popper coming out, the same color. We're doing it across the board on a lot of things. A popper it's badass. It is badass. You can walk it at any speed, a popper. And one of the colors we're coming out with is a Cylon in that. The jerkbait, working on a spinnerbait color. That I haven't got quite figured out yet to mass produce that color. But I'm getting pretty close. But that Cylon color we came up with, Rick had it before, and I saw it and I played around with. It's pretty badass.
Hoosier, dude, hit me up. Hoosier, I'm gonna have to get some tubes from you too. If you do some more of those tubes, I know Dustin has some secret colors. I might hit you up too, Dustin. Maybe we'll talk to Hoosier, see if we can get some sweet tubes too.
I won't show it on here. Well, maybe I can if Jim's watching.
Revoked. I know. I was never a Battlestar Galactica. Because was that the movie or was that the show?
The show, both. They had them in both.
I remember.
Cylon.
Yeah, I never.
The Cylon.
I got into Star Trek and Star Wars.
That was their soldiers, more or less.
Cylons were cutting edge.
Jimmy, put on here if it's okay to show him this color I just picked up at your house the other day. I found these. He had a stash of stuff, right? And this guy from Michigan had him made 300 of these tubes to do nothing but smallmouth fishing. I thought, what the hell? And it was so basic.
Mike?
What's that?
He's saying the little bangers are still available in my colors?
And that's that one color. The 8 of them, 8 new colors will be in very soon. So keep an eye on for them. That little banger, the bluegill crackle, right? So.
Yep, crackle bluegill.
Yeah, that's the only one left.
Little banger. What's it show? Oh yeah, when you actually go to it, Mike, they say sold out.
In that color?
Yeah.
That just happened in the last hour.
Go to like Tequila Sunrise.
I just checked it right before the show and it was available. Somebody's paying attention.
No, that's the only one that's still available is the Crackle Bluegill.
Oh, yeah, be honest with you, it looks bright as hell, but you painted the thing. It can work anywhere.
It turned out it turned out brighter than I wanted because it looked a little bit too close to the Fire Tiger. I wanted it to be a little bit more muted, but I thought the differences would be good enough that I can see where people would like this over the Fire Tiger. But after I fished it, I was like, yeah, this thing is pretty bright. I wanted it to be more of a natural, but
you know, what I did with it, because of that, even on clear lakes, I was fishing that thing in vegetation, burn the hell out of it.
He said, yes, it was okay to show it.
Here you go. Everybody pay attention. This is one. I don't even know what the hell. He's going to have to tell you what he calls this thing.
How about
This,
the movie Soldier? Speaking of nerds, anybody remember the movie Soldier?
yeah,
Awesome movie with oh my gosh, now I'm blanking on it. Big Trouble in Little China. I want to say Michael Douglas, and that's completely wrong. And then I want to say Patrick Swayze, and that's
Kurt
wrong. What the hell's
Russell.
his name?
Kurt
Kurt
Russell.
Russell. There we go. Yeah, the movie Soldier. I just watched that again the other night. That used to be one of my favorites.
There
Anyway,
it is. Jimmy, you're going to have to tell him what the hell this is.
it's like a
It's
smoke color. Smoke. Ooh, it's got the
it,
white inside,
it's
like a
dipped
shad.
smoke black with white core.
Looks like a bait fish.
Exactly. That I've never seen that color done in a dip tube. I was over there at his where they make them last week, and I saw some of these in the corner. So what the hell is that? That's what kind of work they can do over there. They can that inner
Yeah, the
core.
dips, you can get
Look at
super
that.
cool looks with the dips.
So
Yeah.
when it comes down, all looks solid. Look at that. So then when it slows down, it opens up. Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China. That was a bizarre movie.
Dude, that was an awesome movie. Another one of my
Ni
favorites.
hao ma.
Stargate.
Ni
I was
hao
just
ma.
telling my wife, speak about Kurt Russell. I was just telling my wife about Stargate because she's like seen, I think, 4 movies that have ever existed, and that's it. She's not a movie person. So I wanted her to watch
That's another
Stargate.
killer color right there, bud.
A little red inside, a little orange, whatever that is.
Orange. I helped design that with Snack Daddy back in the day. That's that. Yeah, Jimmy dips those. He's done really. He's really studied it, and he's got the formulas down to be durable but pliable and looks natural. You know what I mean?
Does that gray? Did that gray one have flake in it? The shad looking one?
No, it may have black fleck, but that's it. But I don't even think it has that. I'm not sure. Jimmy will have to. There may be some top secret shit for I don't know. For all I know, you know.
Secret Color X.
But I don't even know what to call it.
Then if you wanted to get really crazy with that one, you could dip those. You could dip part of that in like chartreuse.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd work. A little orange or chartrise or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Jimmy, if you're watching this, your buddy up north's going to be pissed, but just call that Dove Shad or something like that. It'll work.
Have no name.
Have no name. There you go.
Secret Shad. That's what it should be.
Secret Shad.
Did a lot of good movies. Yeah, dude.
I think that's pretty cool, though.
Kurt Russell fan.
I think that was pretty cool.
All right. What else we got? We're at an hour 30. Any other questions? We're getting on Kurt Russell movies. I could talk movies all night. love watching movies. I'm trying to think. There was another Kurt Russell one I used to like too, I feel like. Oh, Escape from LA, Escape from New York. We're both good. Oh, The Thing. That's what it was. The Thing. Great Kurt Russell movie.
Tombstone.
Oh, yeah. Tombstone. Favorite Western. Top 3.
That was so much better than the Wyatt Earp that Costner did. You know?
Dude, completely agree. Russell and Tombstone.
It's crazy. It came out about the same time, too, if I remember right.
What? Oh, Overboard. Oh, my gosh.
You know, think about the saying, I'll be your Huckleberry, or
yep.
There's stickers and T-shirts still today with that shit on.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because Kilmer should have won an Oscar or whatever for that, dude. He was awesome in that. What do we got? What do we got? Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I want to ask them.
Yeah.
This is important stuff, and research and development, if they don't mind. Favorite 2 jerkbait colors? And again, specifically to where you're at, jerkbait colors or spinnerbait colors?
For me, jerkbait, ghost minnow, and some sort of shaddy something.
Like a pearl shad?
Yeah, almost like kind of a see-through, half see-through-y shad. Sort of translucent shad, like a matte almost.
You like the Cylon then? Glitter, shiny, no shiny. Northern Lights perch. What does he mean by Northern Lights perch?
I don't know about the perch, but Northern Lights is usually like a purplish top.
Purple chartreuse in it.
Yep, chartreuse, usually on the back or on the bottom of it, on the belly, and then on a little bit on the tail.
Oh, what about
Helsinki? So the husky jerk, that's kind of like that crackle shad, the Helsinki.
Yeah, Helsinki's got the bluish pearl top, bone and like a chartreuse stripe down it, if I
It's
remember
like white.
right.
Yeah, white with the chartreuse stripe. Yep. Jerkbaits in more natural colors. I tend to pretty much fish. Oh, Tennessee shad. Absolutely, dude.
Transparent Tennessee. How about like the matte shad type of thing, like that? You know, the matte has a shads have a lot of green pumpkin brown on them, really, like a Tennessee shad
Matte Tennessee shad.
with a. Wait a minute, let me get that. Matte Tennessee shad and the Northern Lights of faint chartreuse belly. Berkeley nailed that one. I got him.
Yellow
Okay.
perch.
Yellow perch. Where's
Transparent perch and Northern Lights.
this Mick Vogel
Michael?
from?
Mike's from here.
Okay.
He's here in Iowa.
Iowa.
Oh, Michael, where are you at? Yellow perch. You know, this is one that's also slept on that does really good around here is like a gold, some sort of gold reflection.
Yep.
Yeah, spinnerbaits. I don't go crazy on spinnerbaits like a white shirt. I'll tell you what, I had a crappie color, but it wasn't like the crappie you would think. Oh my gosh, and who made that? I was fishing. It was a subscriber spinnerbait, and that thing absolutely crushed it, and I lost it. But it was kind of like a broken crappie, like had kind of like a light green pumpkin top. You know, like you would think of some of those crappie that we get around here with, you know, like the green pumpkin top going down into like a whitish yellow with like the broken bands, the bars on it. Dude, I freaking loved that color.
It's weird. A lot of the old colors, I'm trying to bring back old school stuff with a new twist on it.
Like a black and gold too. I don't like it, the color, but hawk color.
Black, gold.
Like black and yellow used to be a big old time color.
And then, a lot of people slept on like a khaki back bone. Brown and bone used to be a killer crankbait colors.
Oh, dude. Yeah, like a khaki or bone.
Yeah.
Love them. Pink has been hot lately. Oh, I would agree. Pink is all the craze now. Agreed.
Pink for spinnerbait.
Pink for everything. People were wanting pink chatterbaits, pink flukes, pink. Oh, dude, yeah. The regurgitated shad that 13 Fishing used to do. And you have to get the eyes. The dead eyes. Oh, my God.
Albino pearl regurgitated. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, they used to do 13 Fishing used to do a regurgitated shad that was so good. And they had like dead eyes. The eyes looked like dead fish with like the X in them. Dude,
kind of like a walleye, crankbait eye.
Yeah. So badass. They killed that. Matte back,
that one.
Black orange belly. Jim's a North guy. Gold and black spinner baits are great for pike here. Don't tell Rob that I agree.
Hey, tell them to start looking for some of our stuff. A lot of this, we're going to have a lot.
Yeah, see, there's old school. Yellow black. Yep, used to be a big one.
Spinnerbait yellow black. Yeah, that's slept on. That used to be like at one time. I think Debo. I think they called that Hawkeye. Black and yellow.
Go Hawks.
Sexy sheds, just catch, also bluegill. Right.
There's Rob. I don't even care if they catch fish. Gold lures are just fun. Yeah, right, Rob. You like the black and gold. Come on.
Well, my new lipless, I promise you will have a black, a gold with a black back. I promise you the new lipless that I'm working with, Monster Bass, will have that color.
Ooh, AU is another good one too. We don't have them here, but I love that color. IU, yeah, sorry.
Yep, that's a good color all around. It don't matter if they're fish in that lake or not. That works. You got to have a little bit of chartreuse somewhere in it, like a small piece. I don't know what it is. Just sets it off. Because bass see chartreuse and yellow is white underwater.
Yeah, like different shades of it from what it looks like a different shade of.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think we got through questions. Well, listen.
That helps me out a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate everybody hopping on tonight. Mr. Mike, I appreciate you hopping on short notice. Always fun talks as normal.
Hey, I appreciate it. As always, man, it's good talking with you. Sometimes I get carry overboard, and I'm just trying to.
I'll get a timer ready next time. Yeah, you got 3 minutes, Mike. Go.
I'm really I'm getting back to my roots again. I feel like Monster Bass, and I think people ought to pay attention. There's some great companies in this country right now, and plug some of the stuff you're doing with LureNet. I think it's awesome, creating colors and things. Frank Scalish, I'm a big fan on the way some of the paint job. That crawdad he just came out with last month was killer.
I need to get him on again. He was such a nice dude. He literally is just an Uncle Frank. He's just the uncle that comes to the family reunion that you haven't seen. He's like, oh, hey, what's going on?
I've never met him before, but I'd really like to. So
yeah, I've only had him on a live once, and he was as welcoming as he's a wealth of knowledge too. So
I met some great painters and stuff, and actions first, but paint is paint colors people get it wrong though. It's not just the colors; it's what's underlying on those colors too. The transfer of colors, the belly colors, things like that. There is a lot to it. Some companies don't have a clue. They just make whatever the hell they can. Other companies really do. And that's what we are really focusing in on, getting the right stuff and the right colors and the right hardware, everything else like that. I love, as you know, I love working on baits and messing around. Perry will tell you, Jim will tell you.
I like regular old fishing nerds that like to nerd out over gear and lures.
Yeah, some of the best times I had just sitting there on the deck of the lake I'm fishing, talking about what we're going to build and how we're going to do it and where we're going to do it. You've been up there, you've seen it.
Gorgeous.
So I appreciate the time. Anytime I can come on and help anybody needs help, I don't care if it's personal, professional, or whatever, reach out to me, send me an email. I've been through a lot in my life. I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations lately too. And I've seen what the mind will do if you let it go unchecked. I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of death in my life too. The work I did for 30 years. But I'm really a big believer in the healing power of water and just letting guys go fishing and do stuff. Not worry about all this shit that's going on. Don't worry about who does what, who doesn't do what. Just go fish and have a good time. Take your buddy, take a kid. Just show them the basic stuff. You don't have to have everything. It does help. If you got a great bass boat with all that stuff, show a kid how to use it. If you don't, fine. Just show them how to fish. Tie a knot. Shit.
The experience. It's not all the stuff. It's the experience.
And that's what I love about those boxes we have too at Monster Bass. That the best way to, we got kids boxes. They can paint their own lures. I mean, how you want to get them interested in something? Have them paint. We got a box they can paint their own crankbait, or a box with a little everything. Just, we talked about, we're working on some stuff in the future. If you want to help a buddy out, get him something, guy. Put a little personal note in it. Hey, man, appreciate your friendship, appreciate whatever hell you just gone through. Here's a box. That's something to talk about, And but people, I can't remember who said it, but the thing about fishing is not just about the catching,
The experience.
Yes, sir. Hey, Debo, I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Can do. Happy holidays to everybody. If I don't see you before then.
Agreed.
Not just give your family a hug, give your buddy a hug too. Sometimes that little tap on the shoulder and let them know you give a shit about them really helps.
Agreed. There's always somebody to listen to you, even when you think there isn't. Completely agree. Well, we're out, everybody. Thank you all for watching. And until next Saturday.